It's important to create habitat in urban, agricultural, residential areas simply because there are so many people in the U.S. Between 95 to 97% of all U.S. land has been augmented in some way for human use, which means that pristine habitat that we once had that supported all the different diversity of species that are indigenous to the U.S. now are relegated to small patches of habitat here and there. If we can change kind of the way that we think about habitat and look at our yards as potential habitats, look at roadsides, ditches, along sidewalks, if we can look at municipal buildings, the areas that surround that as potential habitat that can both serve human uses and support a broader ecosystem, we'll have a more sustainable society. We choose native plants over ornamental plants because native plants in particular have co-evolved in the particular geographic region where they're found. So when you plant native plants, those plants have co-evolved with the specific types of native insects that are in an area. However, when you plant ornamental plants, they haven't co-evolved in that particular geographic area. So they can have compounds in their tissue that native insects can't eat. They can't digest it. It's not good for them. In some cases, it can kill them. And so the point of creating a healthy habitat is to create food and shelter that works for the other species that are in that habitat, and native plants are the best species to use for that. Pollinators play a very important role in our food system, in our ecosystem in general. Some cool things about pollinators is that native pollinators tend to fly at cooler temperatures in wetter conditions, so you have actually more hours during a season when they're flying and they're pollinating. Pollinators are really important. Pollinators are what give us the vast majority of food that we eat, and they're what create the beauty that surrounds us every spring and summer. So it's really important to protect pollinators anywhere that we can. In agriculture, the primary benefit of habitat to the individual farmer is both pollination and pest management. So for pollination, you have native pollinators greatly contributing to the successful pollination of crops, in many cases actually doing a better job than honeybees. And then for pest management, you've got predatory insects that are able to keep those crop pests in check and to stop them from proliferating into an epidemic. The majority of Americans now live in urban and suburban areas. I think it's about 80% of us. And so we have an opportunity in our backyards or in any of these green spaces that we work in, that we play in, to support habitat and to create a place where we can really have ecosystems thriving. A habitat is something that anyone who has any access to any piece of land can help promote. Whether you have a plot at a community garden or a backyard or spread some seed along a roadside ditch of native wildflowers, you're contributing to ecosystem health, you're creating habitat.